Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Brentford 1, Everton 1. Everton make it 7 games undefeated in the Premier League. But James, as good a point as it was and as good a team as they are, there is a little feeling of an opportunity missed, 2 points dropped, really.
I think especially after the Man United game, it just feels that little bit worse that we did drop 2. Realistically, should be going away with 6 from both of them. But you know, there was 2 really good chances and 1 half-decent chance for Beto. You know, in the form that he's been in recently, you'd expect him to have no problem scoring both of them. And, I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of it and say, like, you know, there's been a bit of a reaction online that, you know, he's finished or whatever from missing 2. He's still got 5 and 5, and ultimately he's still a good striker. It's just he maybe had a bit of an off day, and sort of, when he's not scoring, no one else really is scoring in our team anymore now that Ndai's on it. So it's definitely disappointing because Brentford looked poor. They were there for the taking. Apart from that first 25 minutes, half an hour, they weren't really too dangerous.
No.
And yeah, it's especially the goal we conceded too. It's just really poor from Everton that we concede. But hopefully now there's a bit of a break, because it was very noticeable that all the players were knackered. You know, everyone just looked done in. Hopefully now there's a little bit of a break. They can go off and get a few players back, and hopefully we properly kick on once we come back in 10 days, is it? No?
10 days, the next one. I mean, when you're looking at it really from our perspective now, obviously the manager yesterday had to make a change, then enforce change with Decore wanting to be at the birth of his child, which is fine, no issue with that. Charlie Alcaraz came in, but it was just losing another player who might weigh in with a goal, and taking that out the team. Again, Everton's options are cut down for goals. Although I did think Alcaraz had a good game, he got better and better as it went on. But David Moyes hasn't got many options. You know, I think we had 9 players out or 8 players out. So we already haven't got a big enough squad. And then when you take all of that out, and it's mainly the attacking options. You know, no McNeil, no Ndiaye, no Brozier, no Calvert-Lewin, no Abdoulaye Decore. You know, when you look at all of those players and you take them out the squad, you are looking going, well, Beto has got to continue to be almost perfect up front, because the main crux of our goals, I mean, Ndiaye's our top scorer, unavailable. You know, McNeil was at 3 goals, I think, but creative off corners and free kicks, not available. It doesn't matter whether David Moyes would play him, having him on the bench, he'd get on the pitch, wouldn't he, for 25 minutes. We just don't have that. Brozier was just looking like he was starting to get a bit of sharpness and then got injured again, so he hasn't been. Smitty we've not had all season. In fact, I don't even think I mentioned Smitty with the players out. He was another one on, although he was back on the bench last night, he wasn't ever likely to get on the pitch. You heard David Moyes in the pre-match press conference saying he's joined back in, but he's had a couple of training sessions he's got to build up, and then obviously he needed him and Patterson to be on the bench just in case, but neither of them are ready. But you're absolutely right, the opening 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it was all Brentford in terms of first to every second ball. They were on the front foot, certainly for the opening 5 minutes. We just kept giving them the ball, and you know, they had a couple of shots that fizzed wide at the post and stuff. And at that stage, I was thinking, could be a long night this, because we just looked leggy right from the first whistle, didn't we?
Especially with sort of, you know, the strength that Brentford have is mainly their attack, and you know, you've got 3-4 good players who have all got really good numbers this season. And I thought that first 25 minutes where there was a lot of pressure on us, and you saw Shade or Sade or whatever, however you pronounce his name,
Shade.
However you pronounce, so you saw from him, he sort of rinsed O'Brien a few times, and then it was a bit worrying then, because I thought these are already on top, and the players they do have such good quality, and they've all got great numbers already. So I did think it was going to be a long night, but I think as the game progressed, you sort of seen, you know, Michalenko's strength of being able to sort of go at them really good attacking players one-on-one, and Bremo was really quiet considering how good he's been this season. And then Jake O'Brien started like to progressively get a bit better and kept him quiet out wide, and from there Everton sort of were solid in defence. And if you look at like Tarkowski and Branthwaite, they both had really good games too. Tarkowski everything, and they were taking no chances and just clearing it whenever they needed to, which I was a big fan of. And yeah, from there, Everton started really to get into it a bit more, and a few minutes on, there was 2 really good opportunities.
Well, we'd had a couple of opportunities. We had a breakaway where Alcaraz should have played a better ball to Lindstrom.
Yeah.
He overhit the pass. If he'd got the weight of that pass right, Lindstrom at least would have had a shot on goal. We had one that Beto almost got to a knockdown. I think he was surprised the defender missed it, and he swung a foot at it and couldn't direct it. He had sort of like a side volley that he tried, which he shinned over the bar. And we had one really good move, and Brien decided to back heel it in the box instead of shooting. It was a really good passing move. He went in and he tried to just back heel it into the path of Lindstrom, and he did, but the chance was gone, and we ended up knocking it back outside the box, when if he'd have let it run across his body, he could have had a shot at goal. And then, of course, we had the best 2 opportunities, certainly the first half. The first one is a ball forward by Harrison, and Ethan Pinnock slips.
Yeah.
Beto, I don't know whether he catches Beto or Beto slips, but Beto gets back up and is clear. His first touch is okay, and it's ahead of him, and I'm thinking it's 1-0 because he's been deadly from there.
Yeah.
And I just expected him to hit it outside of the keeper, outstretched arm, and then wheeling away, giving it the the quieter or whatever it's called. It's not LeBron James, apparently it's Ben Tekke, which is a bit of a strange one. But he didn't. He chose to try to go round Flecken. There was no angle. He tried to drag it past him. There was no angle. He just hit it by him. And if you look at the action anyway, even if it had gone past Flecken, Pinnock gets back and it was round him, so he wouldn't have scored anyway. Whereas if that's me there, I'm thinking the ball's out my feet. And I think you'd see this from most strikers. Whip it round the keeper. Just get it. If Flecken goes and makes a brilliant one-handed save, you go, great save from the keeper.
Do you think he just had too much time to just think about it because of sort of he got it? I think
he thought Pinnock had slipped and he had a little bit more time than what he did have. But I think when you're pushing it round the goalie, you've got to create the angle. And he didn't create any angle, but I don't understand why he was going back into traffic anyway. If he's going to take it round Flecken, he should have gone to the outside of Flecken.
Yeah, it did seem like the right side was the better angle.
But the goalkeepers, if you look at the keeper, he's starting to come. So therefore, if Beto just gets the shot away, the keeper's not set anyway. We saw this to a lesser degree, but a similar thing with Ollie Watkins winning in Moyes' first game. Pickford started to come, stopped, left the whole goal exposed like Flecken did, but Watkins didn't give him a chance then to reset, and he just hit it past him, and before Pickford knew it was in, and we lose the game. And I just thought the confident run Beto's in, he would have just got that shot away.
Seems weird as well, because you see sort of the finishes he has done, and he's been direct, but he hasn't really tried to be too fancy.
No.
For some reason, he just switched it up this one, and obviously it didn't work out, and just poor. But I don't think the foul from Pinnock would have came to anything before it, because I know people were moaning about that.
Saying he'd have gone down, he'd have been sent off.
But it looks like he slides and then Beto jumps over him, but then just clips him at the end.
I'd want me striker to shoot though. I want him to get back up and score.
You think he'd have the confidence to go for it? Yeah.
I mean, the one. He gets another opportunity a few minutes later. It's a good bit of play, actually. Ball in, little cushion deader to Alcaraz. He goes, Alcaraz heads him through and he's clean through. And that's what you want him to do. He gets away. And this time he does take the shot. The goalkeeper makes a really good save, but is also really lucky that the ball goes the wrong side of the... It's not as if he's stretching and tips it. He just makes himself bigger, hits his hand, goes past him. And at first you're thinking that's rolling in. And then it rolls the wrong side of the post. But again, that one, I think there he should be going to the right of the keeper before he gets set. He's running almost on him. Whack it past him before he gets a chance to set it. But the keeper does make a good save. He hits the target and he doesn't get that little bit of luck. But sitting there watching it, I must admit,
being so close together, it just made
it was worse. It did. My head nearly fell off, I'll be honest, when he missed the second one, because it's like, they're two really good opportunities against the good side.
And it was 0-0 then.
It's 0-0. If we take the lead and knock the wind out there, you never know how it plays out. Everton might have scored and got beat 2-1. You don't know, but I'd back us.
It was minutes as well after that sort of start where they were applying so much pressure, and it sort of seemed like for a bit we couldn't really handle it. So it was what, like the 30th minute, the first one, the 36th, the other one. If he would have just been able to score them, it would have just completely changed the game.
But it didn't, and we, you know, you could see his confidence go a little bit there, and Brentford still didn't do anything, but then again, because his confidence is gone, we take a throw-in into him, his touch is heavy, and then he passes the ball straight to a Brentford player. They knock it forward to Wisser. Wisser cuts in, has a shot, Pickford makes a save that he should, it goes out for a throw-in. And from the throw-in, in, you know, the last seconds of injury time, the ball comes in. You know, the sprinkler had already delayed the game.
4 minutes.
You know, the ball comes in, bounces over. I think Jordan Pickford's got to come for that. My goalie in his 6-yard box, either come for the fist or come and take it. He stays on his line, it bounces across, and Boomo hits the bar, and Wisser heads it in. And
it was really, with how good Pickford is and how good he's been for Everton, it was really poor goalkeeping. I think going straight from the United one where he probably should have saved the free kick, adds to it. But it's weird, isn't it? Because he hits the crossbar, but Pickford jumps up for it and then just lands on the floor, and it's just on the floor then. It's just a free header for Wisser. And, you know, Jake O'Brien just watches on. And
Lindstrom.
Yeah,
Wisser starts next to Lindstrom. Wisser starts next to Lindstrom. And Wisser ends up heading it in on the line, and Lindstrom hasn't moved. And it's
just very sloppy from all three of them.
Well, we've got Tarkowski, who's big. We've got O'Brien, who's big. Branthwaite, who's big. Beto, I think, was even in there as well. And it ends up with Wisser heading it in. And you're 1-0 down when you should be at least 2-0 up. You know, on chances.
Just before half time.
And you're like, that was a real kick in the nuts, wanted to go in 1-0 down. But I must say, I thought we come out second half and took the game to them. I did. I thought, even though we looked like we didn't have much energy, we were the team who was in control in the second half. And we kept getting into that final third, but there was no sort of fresh ideas. We looked flat when we got into the final third. We've looked a little bit more inventive recently, but I don't know what it was. I think
it's just a lack of confidence, really, because, as you said, Beto's missed 2 really good chances there, and then the 2 wingers, they haven't scored or assisted for a while, so they're not up in confidence in front of goal. So it sort of felt like everyone was wanting someone else to sort of take the shot or go for it. And I think it was a bit evident, really, because no one was really wanting to be the one to score, and just kept going round. But there was, as you said, we were much better in the second half, and there was some really good chances, like Alcaraz taking a shot and stuff. But yeah, it was a bit frustrating. It just seemed like confidence was really low throughout everyone, and sort of the tiredness started to creep in a bit more, which was frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, Brentford didn't really do anything, did they, if you think about it? Jordan Pickford's not had to make 3 or 4 brilliant saves. We're not, you know, we headed things away. We cleared things, you know, and that was really it. They had Lewis Potter, who can be dangerous, you know, floated a couple of crosses in, but, you know, apart from one at the far post, which he headed wide anyway, there wasn't really anything to be worried about. We defended brilliantly, and it was our final pass, really, that sort of let us down. We had a breakaway with Alcaraz, and he played Harrison in, and again, no confidence. You know, the ball's into Harrison, and he's on the stretch, so instead of just dummying the shot, because Aja had already started sliding, if he dummies the shot, he's past him and he's in. And he doesn't, he stretches, knits it against his legs, and there's little moments where it's like, could have just took an extra touch there, or just steadied yourself. You know, we had the Alcaraz one that rolled across his body and he whacked it and it hit the water bottle just wide, and you're thinking, we're getting closer.
But that was just millimetres from being a goal.
Well, we all
just a little bit more of a kill.
A bit more of whip. Well, we almost scored within the first 90 seconds of the second half. We got a corner. The corner comes in. Jack Harrison straight from the corner. And it's kicked off. Flecken just on the line manages to get it away. And you're thinking, have we not scored? Like, where are our players around the goalie? You know, Lindstrom was with the keeper. But we should have had someone in front of the keeper to just have a tap in. And I'll be honest, after about an hour or so, I was thinking, and I said to my dad, I was thinking, I just can't see us scoring, because we passed up good opportunities, and it was like, but I know a couple of people like on the live today were like, I knew we'd score just the way we were. I'd normally got that feeling. I didn't have it last night. I think I was that disappointed with the opportunities we'd wasted. You know, James Garner had a chance on the edge of in his half on the edge of the box and shoot terrible
There's a few that
finishes.
Gay had as well that just went miles over.
Exactly, and you're like, oh, boys, come on. But
Alcaraz as well, I think all of his shots were from outside the box, which is...
see, I don't mind. I
know,
like that he'll have a dig, but he's got to get himself closer to the goal. But
it felt like what we were really good at against Man United and getting like every second ball and pressuring everyone, sort of we were failing to do against Brentford. And obviously I know that's because of how many games we have been playing and sort of the squad rotation and stuff, but I think that was sort of what was disappointing, because if everyone was fit, or even if just the squad was feeling better, that we would have got them sort of chances in.
yeah, it's again, you can't. It's really difficult. I said this last night. Being critical and you're going, feeling guilty about being critical.
Yeah.
A few people have said to me, nah, it's not. It's ambition. It's seeing, what's available. And there is that as well. It's looking at opportunity and going, there's a massive opportunity we've passed up here. And, the difference David Moyes has made is unbelievable to this side. It's unbelievable. You watch it and we're saying today, like, there's only really Beto in that team at the moment who's scoring goals, and yet we feel like we can get goals, whereas the first half of the season we looked like we couldn't get any going. 9 games out of 11 we didn't score a goal in. Now you're looking and going, we should have come off that pitch with at least 2 goals last night. Now I'm being generous to Brentford. We should have scored 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Really.
Should have scored 2 at least in the first half.
So you come off and you go, how have we not won this game? But, we did keep going. The manager, looking to bring players on, but we did keep going, and we got down that left-hand side, and the ball into the box by Mykolenko and Jacob Brien, who'd done really well all night. He'd been up in the box so many times all night. Diving header, brilliant header, back of the net, 1-1.
Yeah.
And, we're back in it. And I'll be honest, once he headed that in, I actually thought we'd go on and win it. I had sort of had I was thinking, we'll win this now. I just had that feeling, we'll win this now. Because we were in the ascendant. Well, we were the whole second half, to be fair, but at that stage, it was like, right, we've scored now. We sort of broke that thing of when it's not going to be our night with scoring. And I thought we'd go on and win. And obviously, he had to take Idrissa Gay off. He was just looking knackered, which is not like him.
No.
And he obviously took Lindstrom off and put Ashley. So we had Ashley Young, Timmy Boonham come on. They were probably really his only choices that he was able to make. And we were on the front foot, and we were pushing for it, and we had a couple of balls into the box that we couldn't just quite connect with, or it deflected away from us. We had shots that were blocked.
It sort of felt like that sort of ball to Jake O'Brien at the back post was something that was practiced, because as we were talking about as well, that when Ashley Young came on, when we were attacking, it was Jake O'Brien who was getting forward and Ashley Young sitting back, and then the reverse once we were defending, and it sort of felt like Mykolenko and like Harrison kept getting the ball and aiming for that back post for Jake O'Brien, who would have been marked by Potter, who we Googled before is 5 for 5 compared to Jake O'Brien, who's 6 for 5. Mismatch, So it felt like that was sort of a tactic, but it was just unfortunate that Mykolenko and Harrison, they kept trying that ball, but it just kept going to Fleckham, which was really frustrating. But it eventually paid out, and it was a good goal. And then from there, we sort of had the momentum, and I didn't feel like we were going to score like you, but as soon as we did score, I was convinced that we were going to go get a winner.
That was it.
Purely because looking at like the Brentford team, especially the keeper and stuff, they looked like panicked, and they were starting to time waste, and they weren't really committing as many players forward. And for a team like Everton, where a few months ago we could barely attack and we barely had anything going for us, and with City here, and you'd be moaning saying, why can't we just get one more player to go forward? For Brentford, who were notorious for their sort of attacking play, and like having Mbuemo, Wissa, all have so many like goals and assists, for them to be sitting off Everton going, we've got to be careful here at home, and Everton still going and attacking. I just think it's such a good turnaround, and I'm happy this break has come, because I do think once we do get a few more players back, seeing how Moyes has done with the players that we have right now, I just feel like we're going to go a whole other level once we have a few more back, and he does have them options now.
Well, if you look at it, when it went 1-1, we're starting to pick the ball up on the edge of our box and break. We're flying forward, and players are bursting to get up there, and we were knackered. You could tell we were tired. We're normally so far under David Moyes, we've been so sharp in games, pressing really high, putting the opposition under real pressure. And normally we do have to dip around the 70-minute mark because we just haven't got the bodies to replace them. And these players, they weren't fit in the first half of the season. They were fit to sit on the edge of their own box, but Moyes doesn't have that. You've got to run up and down and work and get up there and support. And these players are sort of a bit like, oh my God, you know, we've got to be a lot fitter than this. But we haven't really got the options on the bench. So, but to see them last night, and listen, it might have been, we haven't got a game for 10 days, we're going to throw everything at it because this is here for us. But we started trying to win that game, and again, you know, we have the breakaway again with Beto. We get him in again, and he wriggles free, and he's running in on the angle, and Alcaraz is
Alcaraz looked like he put every bit of
everything to get there, and Beto, and that's a good. It was the best save of the three that Flecken made. It was the best one, you know.
Yeah. It was a tough angle for Beto, but Flecken done really.
I wonder if he'd have gone low, Flecken would have parried it and it would have gone into the path of Alcaraz for a tap-in. We'll never know. But he made the goalie save, which is all you can really do as a striker. Alcaraz was fuming. Yeah. Volleyed one ball at the advertising board and webbed another one on the pitch. It was
like teed up for him.
Yeah, he was off on the cone, wasn't he? Smashed it, he was fuming. But that was so refreshing to see. And even in sort of like the 94th minute, we broke from their thing and we're like steaming, trying to get up there. You're like, we're going to win this. No, the last pass didn't come. I think we misplaced the pass. But we got ourselves up the pitch and it was like, this is like alien. This to like what was going on under the other fella. It makes a mockery of everything he said. It, you know, David Moyes has really shone a torch on what nonsense was coming out of his mouth. Yeah. You know, and we're seeing, you know, give Dyche credit. He lulled everyone at every one of these teams into thinking we're crap. And David Moyes is coming and going, well, we'll just attack and we'll be all right. Now these teams can't cope with us. So like, I'm going to thought that other fella, you know, the one with the rubbish voice, kept saying we're crap. This team's crap. How come they can fly forward and score loads of goals? Because they never were crap, and shame on you if you believe what they said. But
it's so
where we are
as
now,
well, isn't it?
It's there.
You know, when you were saying, just before you move on that, you know, they were running after everything and they cared. You look at all the players and it's like they are sprinting after everything, and no matter what, they're giving their all. And like Alcaraz, that final sprint at the end, even though he's about to be taken off, but he never ended up getting taken off. It was like
that was weird, wasn't it? Keane was like ready to come on and go up front,
and then he
just went. Well, he's just probably gone.
Let him use that anger into trying to score.
Right, what am I doing?
Yeah,
he's a centre back. Sit back down, Michael. Don't be silly. You know, don't be silly. I don't need to go that route. No, but that is. We said the other week. Me and Ped were saying, me and I know John was in this as well. It's like, and yourself. It's like, if they get to a level where, I think the manager actually said this as well. If they get to a level where we can see they're giving everything and they're going after every team, that's good enough. The results will come and go. We'll do what we did at Palace and nick one we don't deserve, even though I think it's always right. And we'll have days like United where we deserve to win, and even last night, and we don't win it. But if we can see them going after everyone, giving everything, what more can he get them to do? We know we need more quality. He said it. He says it virtually every press conference. We need better players. We know that, but he's saying it in a way that if I'm a player in that squad, I'm not thinking, well, he's having a go at me there. He's just saying we need to raise the level. He knows that. He's doing this with 8 players out. Yeah. You know, these are lads who have all played in the first team that aren't available. Yeah. You know, even if his first team is what it is right now, which it isn't, but even if that was a team he picked, you've then got all that opportunity off the bench. We haven't even got that right now. And so to be doing what we're doing and still going after teams, you know, we know in the past, at 1-1 going into injury time, we weren't leaving our box.
No, 100%.
We were having 11 men on the edge of our box, smashing it anywhere it'll go. We wouldn't have dreamt of trying to go and win that game. Never in a million years. Last night, he's fucking like that, get forward to win the game. And that's what I want to see from my Everton team. This is what I said all season. And some people just couldn't, it just, whatever reason, I don't know, couldn't understand what I was saying. It's like, I'm not asking for, although I'd love it, a squad like Man City or Liverpool or whatever. What I'm saying is, I just want to see my team trying to win games, giving everything and getting forward.
Yeah.
And it isn't, when people used to tell me the first half of the season was the best these could do, and I used to dispute it. And I'd say we would score more goals if we committed more bodies forward. Well, guess what? We just equalled what we done in the first half of the season in 8 games with scoring goals. We scored in 7 on the run.
Yeah.
Because we're getting forward. But under Sean Dyche, Jake O'Brien, A, not on the pitch for a start, but B, he ain't playing that high up. He's not scoring a diving header there.
Yeah.
You know, you get bodies in the box. This is why we're getting goals from
And the thing is
areas.
as well, that at the start of the season, right now Moyes has only got Beto, Lindstrom and Harrison to choose from. Dyche had Calvert-Lewin as well, he had Schmidt, he had Ndai, he had all these other players. He had so much more depth and he couldn't get like a tune out of them.
No.
And he's came in with arguably at the start of the season the 3 weakest ones you would say in the like as an Everton fan looking at it, and he's getting so much more out of them than Dyche could have ever got out of it. And I think that's massive for just like how he is as a manager and now Everton are performing now.
Yeah, this isn't, listen, the other fella's gone and thank God for that, but it's about what he can get out of it going forward and the more quality, but it's the attitude of the players and they're the ones doing it. It's great David Moyes, he's not a miracle worker, he's just a very good manager and the coaches are very good, but the players are the lads doing it. They're the ones running here, there and everywhere. That's why we need the other ones back to give them a hand. And so yeah, you might run for 65 minutes, mate, and run your socks off, and then you'll go and have a rest, and this fella will come on and he'll run for the other half an hour with the stoppage time and he'll do your work, and that's how we do it. And then we get to the summer and then we build on top of that, and then characters coming in,
continuously
hopefully
improve.
Faster, better technique, I got a goal in them, they do it, and you mix it all together, and that's where the excitement comes of, well, where can this go then, rather than each summer going, oh, this is crap, we're not getting anyone. And then we get, you know, we're going to be near the bottom. You start going, David Moyes would have come in August, we'd be in Europe. We would. We would, wouldn't we? Look what might get into Europe.
Yeah, Forest, they were with us.
Look at Forest, they've been superb, but, you know, Newcastle, you go, Isaac, outstanding with Isaac, without Isaac, they're all right. Fulham have done really well, but the Fulham, you know, Bournemouth, I love watching, but they're not incredible.
No.
But they've done really well because they've got a good way of playing, they got pace and all that. Well, we play it a little bit differently. We've done really well, and that's what we can hope for, to like try and follow in the likes of
blueprint of it.
Forest, Newcastle, Bournemouth, them kind of. Villa did it. Villa spent a lot of money and got good players, but that's the pathway, isn't it? What we're seeing now is some building blocks. Got to keep going. But, you know, Brentford as well. Brentford's a really good side, and that's what they do. And if you commit men forward and get people forward, you get goals, and that's all. I think that's what Moyes has done. So we need everybody back. But you're right, we're going into. No few people on our lives are like, oh, I'm gutted there's no game this weekend, but and it is when you're playing well and not getting beat, you want to watch them again, don't you? You want us the next one. But I think we've needed this break, and you know, to have only 2 games between now and April the 2nd, it'll give David Moyes the opportunity to get in some proper coaching into the players. Rest the players up. Obviously they're off to the UAE for some warm weather training, and sometimes they go away for warm weather training and people are fuming because they're not doing well, but you know, again, it's all circumstance. The 7 unbeaten, which, you know, you wouldn't have thought that when Moyes had come in. No. We couldn't go fucking 7 minutes unbeaten under the other fella for a bit, you know, whereas he's turned it around. But now Moyes is in there and it's starting to go the right way, but we do need that reset, don't we? We need to recharge the batteries. And can we get Timothy fit? Can we get Patterson fit? Can they be?
There's so many players on like the edge of being fit now, isn't there? Like around like the early March point. So
someone said McNeil starts training again on the 15th of March. I don't know how true that is, but that's still 3 weeks away. But
if you go on like FOTMob and stuff like that, I think they say Calvert-Lewin's back early March, Brozier's back early March, and
Jai's an interesting one, isn't he? Because obviously David Moyes,
he hasn't really spoke about him, but
last week he said he's walking and he's having some injections to take to settle it down. So you know, he mightn't be that far away, might he? So, you know, when we come back in 10 days, we should have, at the very worst, for the trip to Wolves, we should have the core, like Patterson and Chimity, but like fully ready to be in that squad and be involved and be able to be brought on if need be.
Which would both be huge, because sort of Patterson, as much as, you know, young guys played well, you think, you know, when he's coming on and he's playing a bit more of a defensive role, the passing with his pace, playing out wide would be key. And then you look at Chimiti as well, and I think one of the only criticisms of Beto has been, you know, towards the end he does fall off a bit, and that's because he puts so much energy in. But it's also because there's no one to replace him. Like, you look at sort of the start of the season when it was Calvert-Lewin, and he'd sort of have no energy. It'd always be Beto being brought on, or he'd have someone to switch with him at about the 70th minute. I think having someone like Chimiti on the bench, it'll give him a great opportunity to, like, sort of get a bit more experience with Everton, and Moyes can assess him then to see whether he's going to be part of the team or not. And it also gives Beto a chance just to have that sort of rest, but whilst also keeping the whole team's energy levels up. And I think they're just two that were on the bench last night, and they'll be key sort of going forward. Well, I think they'll have more of a squad role than what they did. He could
also, just right now, replace both wide players if Patterson's fit. Because Harrison, if his tie could come off, and he could put Young on the left wing. And he could put Patterson on the right wing. For sort of like the last 15, 20, if you're looking for energy above your full-backs. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Young's ideal on the left, but he has played on the left, and he is. He keeps the ball, and he can whip across, and Patterson's full of energy running up and down. It's legs. It's keeping, like you just said, it's keeping the energy in the team. It's keeping the ability to press and force teams back a little bit. Where when you haven't really got those choices, okay, he's got young lads, but is he really going to call on young Isaac Heath to come on, who's never played a minute of Premier League football, and go, we're 1-0 down away at Brentford or whatever? Do you know what I mean? But like, I'm going to trust you to go on. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. He's not, you know, if you've got Wayne Rooney on your bench who's 16 or 7 and you're going, he's fucking mustard, this kid, then that's fine. But if you've got lads who are decent little footballers, but they're still learning the game and they're learning the trade, you're not throwing them into a battle when it's, unless you really need it. And that's why you want to call on your Ashley Youngs, you want to call on Iraboon, and you want to call on Nathan Patterson. Hopefully Yusuf Chimiti. Hopefully, like you just said, Brien and Calvert-Lewin aren't that far away. Hopefully Dwight McNeil isn't that far away from being available. Seamus.
Increase that competition around everything.
Competition, energy levels, and the freshness, and you can save people like Idrissa then. If you've got another midfielder on the bench.
Ultimately as well, there's a lot of players like a Patterson and stuff who are probably at this point fighting for their Everton careers about whether they're going to be staying or going. Same with Chimiti. You know, he's joined Everton. He's never really had like a solid run of games. Even when he was at Lisbon, I don't think he played that many games for the first team. He played quite a few for the...
I think he played 12, but you think 9 was sub or 8 was sub, so he hasn't played many games.
And then, so he's never really experienced proper first team football, so the decision's got to be made on whether he's staying or if he's going to go out on loan and have a proper full season somewhere. Patterson, you know, he's got 2 years left after this year. Are Everton going to cash in on him?
Time, isn't
or they're going to loan him out too? That could be an option, or they're going to stick with him. And I think there's just a lot of players where decisions have got to be made, and they've almost got to fight for their spot now. And in a team where you are performing, it's going to raise everyone's levels. If, you know, the players on the bench, they want that opportunity to fight. So it's just a positive all round for Everton at the minute, I think.
No, it is. And again, like, you know, we end up drawing the game 1-1, and it's a good point now. I at 7:30, if you'd have said to me 1-1, take it, I'd have gone even though I thought we could win it, and I did, I thought we could also lose it. So I would have took a point, keeps it going, it's an extra point, keeps you ticking over. Obviously you see the chances. Beto's just had one of them nights. You know, still scored 5 in 5 games for us. Hopefully he'll put that to one side and score at Molyneux in the next game. And remember all the good things he's done well. He's been doing rightly. And, you know, he's still in the right place. He's still in the position to miss them. And that's a good thing. It's not like he's not getting any chance. He was there last night. So keep making them runs. You're a handful. We keep getting you in. Just get that finishing sharp every day. Extra finishing till it becomes second nature. Keep it going.
It'd be a lot more worrying if he was playing like loads of 90 minutes and he wasn't getting any.
No, was that it? That would be it.
Everton have probably had a few strikers who are like that recently, and I think he's got 5 in 5, and he had 2 good chances last night, and he'll learn a lot from it ultimately, and then hopefully, as you say, a bit more training on it, and then next time he will score them. But in the same breath, hopefully in the future he won't be as relied on to always be the one to get the goals, like we were talking about earlier. And, you know, whether it's an Ndai comes in or, you know, you try like a Brozier out wide or something like that when he's back, then there is more goals spread around, and Beto can afford to have that 1 or 2 games where he's not at his best. But right now, because there is a reliance, it just feels a lot worse that he's not scoring.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, you've done this conversion rate, and he's at 30%, and Haaland's at 19%.
Yeah.
Haaland's fantastic, and again, just for clarity, I'm not putting Beto in the same class as Haaland. I'm just saying, strikers have them days when they miss chances. He had one of them nights. Other days for us so far, he's been brilliant, and he's scored goals, key goals. Leicester was key. It was absolutely key. Palace away was key. It's got us away, you know, scored in the derby. Scored against you. He's got us away from that danger. Last night, it just didn't happen for him, and hopefully it will happen for him again. And against Wolves from West Ham, and that'd be ideal if he could score in him. But
you look at Brentford right now, the game last night, I was saying this earlier in the live too, that Wissa scored, but in Buemo, who scored loads of their goals, he had a bit of an off game, he was really quiet, but he can afford to have that game because Wissa can also get
someone
involved.
Else who can put it in.
And Everton right now, I know Jake Brien scored, but he's not going to be scoring every week, is he? It's a one-off, but Beto doesn't have that Wissa or that in Buemo, someone who can score.
Imagine if we did though, imagine if what we're
that's what
doing
you're
now.
hoping die is, and then you get...
But imagine if David Moyes had this, and we had Lindstrom who could score goals, and Harrison who scored them in the past, you know, and then midfielder scoring, and Beto, we want him getting chances, but the other lads, do you think they can score a goal as well?
Yeah.
That's where we are. But listen, I think that the progress we've made in such a short space of time, that we're disappointed we haven't won at Brentford. We're disappointed we haven't, you know, continue doing what we're doing, but we haven't lost. And we looked leggy and a little bit tired last night, and we weren't as sharp as we've been, and yet we've still got a point, and we're still sat here going, we should have won. The same as we were sat here on Monday going, have we not beat United? We dominated for 70 minutes. Have we not won that game? That's a massive sign of the progress that we've made. And when you look at like
the Liverpool game as well.
Well, Liverpool, we were somehow behind in a game that we should have been ahead in. And again, so there's the progress.
There's no game where we've looked like we should be losing.
We won at Palace, and they just battered Villa 4-1. So that shows you how good the result is. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But no, it's a good point. Don't get me wrong. Brentford are a good side. It is a good point. But when you have those opportunities, you feel like, despite Thomas Frank saying we kept Everton quiet, apart from the 3 1-on-1s they had, which is, I mean, I love Thomas Frank, but that was a little bit of a strange thing to say.
Nice comment, though.
Strange thing. Yeah. If we had wins, it'd be all right. Yeah. Okay. One player I thought had a really good game last night was James Tarkowski. Let's have a look at his numbers. There we go. Passing accuracy, 86%. He had 5 ball recoveries, 9 clearances, 5 headed clearance, and he won
3 out of 3 of
his headed duels. And despite getting booed, but, you know, the Brentford fans don't like him.
He used to play for him.
I know.
But he left, I think, in an awkward way.
But it was years ago. It's about 10 years ago.
Been about a decade.
And they're in the Premier League and a good side.
He celebrated as well, didn't he, the year? He scored against them and he celebrated like he cupped his ears or something to the fans, I think.
No, he did when we beat them 3-1 last year, but that's, you know,
hold the grudge.
It's great, I love it. James Tarkowski getting booed. I like it. I'm a fan of that. But I thought he was excellent last night.
Yeah, he was really good. I think he scored in the derby, didn't he? And he had this performance where people were sort of raising questions over him, but I think he's been great. And I think even in that first half an hour where it was a bit ropey, he was doing well to just clear the ball.
He was the one.
Keep everything safe.
Because I thought Jared had a good game, but he did start a little bit. I know Brien started a bit shaky, but I thought Jared did come back strongly. I thought them two were probably Everton's best players, although Jake O'Brien got man of the match for some reason.
Yeah, scored.
I know, but Wisher scored. And I think Jake's been great for us, but I don't think last night was his best Everton performance by some stretch. But he was much better going forward than he was defending, I thought, last night. But he did well as well. So, you know, a good point. Let's have a look at the stats from the game last night overall. Brentford 1, Everton 1, 12 shots to the Bees, 14 to Everton. 3 on target for Brentford, 4 for the Toffees, and XG, they had a better XG. But I find that, well, Wissers was basically 1 because he was underneath the crossbar when he scored.
It was an open goal,
1.48 to 1.37. They shaded the possession. This is where we went wrong. That's too much possession away from home for Everton.
Yeah.
We like
We're not allowed to have that.
Well, we like the 38% mark. That normally wins us the game. 38, 39%'s the sweet spot, not 48%. You can't be doing
too much
that.
of the ball.
Can't be doing that. But no, again, listen, I know people will be really disappointed. That will feel like we've dropped points, but you have to take a step back and go, would we all have taken 15 points from 8 games?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how you have to look at it. When David Moyes came in, we were 1 point ahead of the relegation zone.
We're the same points from the Champions League as we are relegation zone. You can't ask for much more.
No. And it's, again, he's done an absolutely brilliant job. I hope Leicester grind a draw out tonight.
Yeah.
I know that'll reduce the gap to 14 points, but I can live with that.
Just don't want West Ham overtaking us.
No. But if Leicester were to lose, that would be it.
Yeah.
That would be it. They'd be gone. Certainly nowhere near Everton, but if they can just grind a draw out at West Ham tonight, that'll be good. It's a good point. It's 7 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
We've now scored the same amount of goals in 8 games as we did in the first half of the season.
It's mental stuff.
And we scored 7 games on the spin as well, which is really good as well. And I think we're still first for yards run, tackles made, and all of that. So everything going in the right direction. Just need players back now. And obviously we can start that planning for the summer and get some quality into it and a bit of pace as well, because that's sort of what we're lacking as well, just that real outball. But it's been an incredible few weeks. And,
it's been great for how it started to how it's going now. Couldn't ask for much more, really.
No. And let the players do deserve a nice little break in the UAE. So go off and enjoy. They will be. Don't need me to tell them to enjoy.
I think that'll be there.
Sure they are. We're going to be continuing on Premier, Toffee TV Premier Live now, where we'll be taking your questions and going through your comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Big thanks to everybody who has subscribed at over 97,000. Now we're chasing down that 100,000. So thank you very much. Other than that, take it easy. We'll see you later.